How would you like to make your first million? And today we have joining us from Texas, United States, Dr. Mark Teague, and he's the owner and founder of MT Square Publishing, which is her own book publishing, his own book publishing for his books, and is a serial entrepreneur. So tell us first the recipe. What are the 5 steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Yes, sir. Harry, it's a pleasure to join you. I'm glad to be with you. There are some critical steps that everyone needs to consider. And interestingly enough, Harry, I won't get to money until the third one, step 3.
Good.
There's some
I
things
love it.
you need to have in order before you start talking about cash, because cash is consequential. It's symptomatic. It's not root. When you have things in order, money will be taken care of. The first thing is a question. Every entrepreneur, every career professional needs to ask yourself a question and answer it, and be very careful in your answer. The question is, what do you stand on? What is your foundation? What are you built on? Because I'll promise you right now, life's going to run right over you. Life is not easy. Life is not kind. Life is difficult. Life is a series of problems coming your way. What do you stand on? You need to have something. That foundation, that bedrock that you choose, that will determine whether you have resiliency, whether you can rebound, whether you can persevere, whether you can step through problems and come out on the other side in good shape. So everyone needs to ask that question and be very careful about answering it, because you need a foundation. Some would say, I'm my own foundation, I'm my own reference point. I found that to be inadequate. It's not strong enough. It's not deep enough. You need something that has permanence. It was here before you got here. It'll be here after you're gone. That's what you need in life. So start with that. That's the first question. The second one is there's a particular set of skills that you must have, and those are problem solving skills. You have to accept the fact that life is a series of problems coming your way. And once you do that, you become a serious person. You become someone, you are mature, you are seasoned, you are someone people can work with, you can be relied upon. There are a whole lot of people in the world today that reject that premise. They think they're too good for problems. They think that's a hassle. It's beneath them. They shouldn't be hassled that way. If you think that way, you're a child. You're not ready for adult life. And life will find you out. It will discover you. So accepting life for what it is, it's a series of problems. Then you start to build a framework. You start to build skills that prepare you for that. Now you're ready to, now you have a chance. You have a chance of getting something done in life. The third thing is, and the Bureau of Economic Research here in the United States has done a fair amount of research on this. Why do businesses fail? So you state 90% of all businesses fail in the first 2 years, and that is a fact. They also reveal why that is. The number one reason is a lack of capital. That a business would close up. Well, that also infers behind it, if there's a lack of capital, it could be that your business plan did not adequately produce income and margin fast enough to see you through that startup phase. That's why you failed, for lack of capital. There was a lack of production in your business that caused that. So you need to be aware of that before you start a company. Be aware of that issue. And that takes me to the fourth item. Have an income base that supports you when you start an initiative. If you're doing that all on debt, you're in a very highly leveraged, high risk environment. And that leads to failure because of lack of capital. So you're far better off if you will secure an income base and then launch a business with that base intact. And then you can grow from there. That is often a job or a second job, or a spouse has a job. You need a base to secure your well-being, so that you're not stacking up debt without an investment plan. That's a huge mistake, a common mistake. And here's the last one. Here's the piece that most companies never understand. They never realize. What most people see when they walk into an organization and what many people create when they start an organization is the organizational chart. They'll see the hierarchies, the titles. Who's the owner? Who's the founder? Who are the top jobs? Who are the middle management? Who are the worker bees? The pecking order. They'll see that. And that has little or nothing to do with whether or not you succeed. In fact, that is often the major detriment. That's the major factor standing in the way of you succeeding as an organization. There's something underneath that workshop that matters, and that's behavior. What people do. That's what determines whether or not you succeed as an organization. I created a management framework in my own efforts, in my own initiatives, in my career, and in my business framework. I call it the impact index. You need to manage staff and choose staff based upon behavior. And it comes down to this. Think of two numbers: ambition on top, capability on the bottom. And you create a ratio: ambition divided by capability. That determines how well you do. And it's the concept is this: if ambition outstrips capability, I call that group meteors. You're going to crash. You're going to create a mess. It's just a matter of time and a matter of how much collateral damage is left behind. If capability is outstripping ambition, I call that group deadbeats. You have latent potential that's not being brought to bear. You are an expense to your organization. You're not producing. You're not bringing results. Both of those groups threaten the well-being of your company, and they will both bring you to ruin. The top one will be spectacular. Meteors will bring a big crash. The deadbeats drain you slowly. They bleed you out slowly. There's a group in the middle, folks that have balanced themselves. They set high goals. They are very ambitious, but they balance it with what they can do. They build the skills to get it done. I call that group true professionals. So your challenge in management in your company is to maximize that group in the middle, true professionals, manage out meteors, manage out deadbeats, and now you have a functioning company that gets things done. That's a high-performing team. Ambition should be unbounded. Nobody should tell another person what they can or can't do. The only thing that should check ambition is capability. Can you actually do it? Can you actually deliver? That's what matters. So it's that ratio of ambition and capability. That's what determines what really a team really does. So you have this in an organization. Most people see the org chart. That's irrelevant. There's something underneath that. It's behavior, and it's driven by that balance of ambition and capability. There's something underneath that. It's character. Character determines whether or not you get the right behavior to reach your business plan. The impact index, the first thing you need is honesty. Are you honest? Are you honest with yourself? Are you honest with the people around you? I have high goals. I have dreams. Can I actually do that? Do I have the skills to get that done? Those are the 5 things that I think are important, Harry.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. And I want to know more about your life as an entrepreneur. Why you decided to start your own business and manufacturing company? This is something that that requires a lot of learning of what you're talking about.
Yes.
So tell us what's the story? Why you decided to become an entrepreneur?
That's a great question, Harry. Thank you. And that's steeped in our personal history. So Melissa and I grew up in North Texas in the Panhandle, near Amarillo and Lubbock, up on the high plains. It's farm and ranch. So as a farm and ranch background, we were raised on family farms. We grew up together. We have a picture of me attending my wife's 2nd birthday party when she turned 2 years old. It's a very traditional story. So in that environment, you're steeped in American tradition, traditional values, hard work. I mean, the work ethic is very straightforward in that environment. If you don't work, you don't eat. It's very cut and dry. You either get your work done or you suffer immediately. So we married in 1986, started a family, had 2 young children. In that time frame, the farm economy was very tough. Cash flow was very tight. Margins are very thin. We looked that over and made a decision to change career. So I went to graduate school. I had a bachelor's degree in agricultural economics. We went to Oklahoma State University. I earned a doctorate in ag econ, and then I went into industry after that. That took us into the banking and finance industry. That was about a 30-year period. Then we built a manufacturing company on the tail end of that, and now I'm into being an author and a public speaker. But I tell you what drove that in the middle of that. That background going from very traditional America through the corporate world, there was such a contrast in environments. So in the farm and ranch community, everything is straightforward, honest, hard work. In the corporate world, there is nothing straightforward. There's every motive, every angle you can imagine. So I found myself, I had a team. I got into management fairly quickly. I had to find success. I had to build a cohesive team that could get things done. What I found myself doing was reaching back to those old-fashioned values, old-fashioned principles that are tried and true, and applying them in the modern world. And that was very successful. That helped me a great deal. And so I wrote that down, turned that into a book over the years, and that gave me a passion for the working class. I have a deep passion for the working class, and we should not define working class referring to income. We should use a literal definition. The working class is the class that is working, because whether or not you have a little bit and you're trying to grow that, or if you have a lot and you're trying to maintain it, the principles involved are the same. They're not different. They're the same across the board. That brings us together, that unites us, that creates ideas and mindsets and policies that are sound, and they help everyone across the board. And I have a deep passion for that. So that's the course that we've taken. And jumping into entrepreneurship, that was a matter of passion and desire over objectives that I wanted to achieve. That's what drove it.
So what message do you have from people from corporate? A lot of our listeners, they are in corporate, and they want to do this transition as an entrepreneur. And sometimes we are facing this dilemma that everybody in corporate are listening and say, wow, I wish that I had this courage, like drop off. Like for example, your career was in finance. You guys get paid very good money over there. Those companies make sure that you're very comfortable, okay? And even you have the luxury that somebody come in corporate to tell you, hey, you have to do this. You can tell them, look, this is not my job, okay? Now, when you are an entrepreneur, the dynamic change completely. Everything is your job. You're responsible for everything. And of course, it's come with a lot of benefits. You fit your own calendar. You can have 3-month holiday, whatever, when everything works, and increase your sales. But basically, tell us what is the good, the bad, and the ugly of that transition between corporate and entrepreneur, because we have a lot of people in the golden cage corporate that they're not feeling fulfilled. They want to start their own business, but sometimes they say, okay, I quit and I start my own business. And when they realize that they have to be in charge of everything, they say, oh my God. So you tell us, because you've been in both shoes, and actually that somebody told you that you were crazy when you said I'm gonna drop my high paid job to do my own business, because people get that a lot. So tell us.
Well, the one thing I would say up front is take an assessment of your time. Here's a truism: whatever owns your time owns your future. Do you want to know where you're going to be in 5 years? Just take a week and write down a log where your time goes. So spend an hour and a half here, 3 hours here, 4 hours here, and then look at that. That's where you will be in 5 years. Whatever is owning your time right now, that's what you will be 5, 10 years from now. So take stock and ask, is that where you want to be? Is that what you like? If you do, then stick with it. If not, then change where your time goes. You must take charge of your time. It's one of your most precious resources, your time. So own it. Take charge of it. Don't let someone else own it. Now, on that jump into the entrepreneurship world, boy, that is absolutely true. There is no they. So one of the favorite conversations in large companies and in general, it's they. They are doing this. They are doing that. Well, in a new business, there's no they. It's you. It's just you. You're doing it all. So be prepared for that. Growing up prepared Melissa and I for that. You grow up in the farm and ranch world. There is no they. There's no they out there. There's no some amorphous group that you could blame things on. It's you. It's you and the work right in front of you. There's a direct connection there. So, and that's the way it will be in the entrepreneurship world. And so owning your time is the first thing I would say to anyone that would complain about what you're doing. Take stock, take an inventory, just take a week, just a few days, write it down and ask yourself, do I like that? Well, it's up to you to change it. If you don't, nobody else is going to change it. It'll be you. Now, when you do change it, do it with a plan. Always have a plan, work the plan. You can always adjust the plan, but you better have one. You need to work from one. And that's why I say the biggest failure businesses is lack of capital. That's it's a combination of lack of cash management and lack of a plan to produce cash. You need to have that plan, spend a lot of time on that plan, and then work that plan. You can adjust it, but if you don't have one, you're going blind. It's almost certain that you will fail.
Yeah, and then a good idea could be maybe when they are in corporate, they can start at least on the side, maybe on the weekends or whatever,
Yes.
their own business to
Yes.
see if they really like it and to see
Yes.
if they have what it takes. But also,
Yes.
slowly they can get to product market fit, which is something that sometimes takes time until you realize what is not the product that you create. Is we have a lot of entrepreneurs that come to make the story that it's never about the product that they create, that they thought was going to solve the problem. Is what the clients wanted to buy and how much they're willing to pay for it.
Yes,
and it's a big difference between one thing. Nobody else, Mark, out of the 500 millionaires that we interviewed this podcast, nobody else had yet come and tell me, Harry, you know what? I designed this product exactly like this. And guess what? The people just took it and I make millions. No one had shared this story. It doesn't really work like this, right?
Yes, no, it doesn't. In fact, that's a very important point, Harry. And that's something everyone should understand when you're setting and thinking about how you want to produce, how you want to pursue income and revenue. You need to understand that. I'll just talk about the United States. There are some 260 million consumers here. They have a vote. They have a say. You don't get to decide that by yourself. There are two sides of an open economy, production and consumption. When you're on the production side, you get to decide the cost of production, the product design, and the quality. The value is determined by the consumer. They choose that, not the producer. The consumer chooses the value that is placed on a product, and you get the difference between the cost and the value they decide that it's worth. That is incredibly important.
If you don't listen, you consumer, you're not going to be long in business,
You're
right?
going to get schooled. Yeah, they are in charge. The customer's in charge. I've sat in so many business meetings, and everyone there tries to be in charge. You need to realize the person really in charge is outside that meeting. It's the customer. 100%. That's who really runs the show.
This I agree with you 100%.
Accept that.
And embrace it if you want to be in business.
Embrace it, yes. And there's an implication to that. You need to be willing to change. The burden of freedom, the burden of that open market exchanges, you have to be willing to change. If you're unwilling to change.
I'm glad that we're going this avenue because let's talk about ego. Okay. So we all entrepreneurs, you and I, we all have ego. Otherwise, we won't be entrepreneurs. We think that we can do better. Okay. Saying that, so let's start for the fact that all entrepreneurs, we have that ego. However, the problem starts, Mark, when that ego starts to go the way and you think that you're in charge of everything, exactly as you described it.
Yes.
And if you're not able to surrender, and exactly as you said, willingness to change, and start to surrender that ego and understand that the people that have the say is exactly like you said, they're outside that meeting.
Yes.
And it's not you, it's not about you, the business is not about you, you're not a big deal. You're just creating something that people are buying, but that's it. And sometimes what I see, Mark, is the more sometimes entrepreneurs they get confused. Oh, I mean, at the beginning, that's happened to me. My own story, and at the beginning of my business, I was in property business. You start to make some money, and all of a sudden something goes wrong in your head, and you're thinking you're a big deal. And then you arrive to the office, and everybody had to do what I say. I'm the big deal. I'm the big shot there.
Yeah.
And then nothing is growing, and I'm exhausted, and there is no leadership in the organization. So out of survival, I had to drop that ego and develop leadership in the organization. Guess what happened? They fired me for my own job. My general manager told me one day when I arrived to the office, Harry, go home, travel the world, don't come here to the office anymore. We don't need you here. We can expand this company without you. We will tell you once a month. Don't come here because you come here to distract us and to talk to us, and we actually working and want to grow the company. So that transition happened, which is amazing, but I have to change myself first. Otherwise, this never happened. So tell us, Mark, there was any part in your life that that you had to deal with your ego as an entrepreneur?
Oh, yeah.
That you had to work within yourself and say, hold on a minute.
Yes.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not the company. Maybe it's not the employees. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's me who have to change something in order to grow.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you the main, to me, there's a framework that checks that and boxes it properly. And it's this: everyone should sit down. Well, in the Western world, Harry, if you could pick one piece of literature that describes the Western mind, and particularly the American mind, but anyone in the Western world, it's the poem Invictus by Henley. I am the captain of my soul.
Oh, wow.
We truly want to believe that. But here's the thing. We should all sit down, take a piece of paper, and write down the things that you actually control, that you can guarantee. It's a short list. The truth is, you and I can't guarantee that we'll make it to bedtime tonight. Our next breath may be our last one. We have no guarantee that the morning will come for us. None at all. We don't control any of that. We think we control events. We think we control outcomes. We think we control people around us. We control none of that. None of it. There's only one thing I would propose, one thing that we control, and that is what I say and do right now. In this moment, what I say and what I do, I'm in control of that, but nothing else. I can't guarantee anything else. That puts a firm check on ego, and that gives you a stewardship mindset. So with the sovereignty mindset, we think we control all those things. Well, we don't. It's not true. With a stewardship mindset,
it's an illusion.
Understand
it's an illusion. You have those employees. You have those employees. This money coming to the bank, and you think, but it's
you
just
think
an
you
illusion.
did all that.
Yeah, you think that you're a big deal.
But you check that with the stewardship mindset. The stewardship mindset is, I have talents, I have abilities, I have opportunities. I need to make the most of those. I don't control any of those. I just control what's right in front of me. So with a stewardship mindset, you have a reverence for facts. You have a problem in front of you, you're going to gather facts. You have a reverence for truth, things that are true. Then you gather principles, and then you work through to an answer. When you have a sovereignty mindset, you start with preference, what I want. And then you rationalize and toss out facts along the way, and you're just going after what you want. There's a great contrast there. One works over time, one doesn't. The stewardship mindset works over time because facts reign supreme. Facts are true for all of us. They're true for you. They're true for me. They're true for everyone. Preference is only true for you. Well, in a sovereignty mindset, I'm trying to impose my preference on everyone around me. You become a meteor. It's guaranteed you will crash. It's just a matter of time. Well, when you get some humility, you get over yourself, you get a stewardship mindset, that works. That works for everyone. You make the most of what you have. A sovereignty mindset, you make the most of you, and you're going to fail. Absolutely, you're going to fail.
And then, Mark, we see in lots of organizations, we talk about this a lot when there are the formation of the organization sometimes designed in a way that they look like a big Titanic, like a big boat. And then if you have to turn right the big boat, okay, it takes a lot of effort and time whether in the organization describe exactly what you say, having this ego on the side, the whole thing
Yes.
become like 3,000 liter boats. And if you are
Yes.
in front, because you only control your own boat, which is at the
Yes.
front. But at
Yeah.
least if you said to this little boat, turn right, all the 2,999 boats will turn right, and they will respond to change faster, which is essential
Yeah.
to be in business.
Yes.
So I want to know, Mark, about the manufacturing business, because it was completely different with the career.
Yeah.
What are the, it's not a service business, so it has, I would say, more complexity because it's, you have equipment, you have training to the employees, you have to be very
Yes.
careful with your
Yes.
margins or what you produce. So tell us a little bit, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the manufacturing business, and what were
Yes.
you, and and what message do you have for other entrepreneurs listening here? Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
what especially in this moment that technically United States want to recoup the manufacturing, right? So maybe
Yes.
you have a lot of
Yes.
people that all of a sudden want to learn from you, Mark, from your experience.
Yes. Well, that was a fascinating experience. And Harry, it followed the model that you described earlier of you're holding a job and you're testing ideas. You test ideas on the side and find out what works. So in our manufacturing, Melissa and I started a company together. She started it first, actually, and it was manufacturing small arms ammunition. We made bullets, ammo, rifle, and pistol. And so the background there is, growing up in Texas, guns are very common. It's just a common tool. Well, going through our career, we were in Mesa, Arizona. I was working with Toyota and Lexus Financial Services. I started competitive shooting on the side, and you start loading your own
Oh
ammunition because of the volume.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
the volume
competitive
and
shooting. Wow.
yes, and the particular type of ammo you want it very custom to yourself. So I started loading my own, and I would talk to Melissa often about doing that commercially in retirement. Well, you fast forward a few years, we got into Houston, Texas, in the private equity world, and our kids were getting older. Our youngest was about 16, 17 years old. They started driving, and Melissa came to me one day and said, "I have time. What do you think I should do?" And I said, well, we could start the ammo business. And I was mostly joking because I thought she would say, there's no way I'm doing that. She thought it over and she said, that's exactly what I want to do. So we did. We started it. We firmed up our business plan. We worked through all the details. I did all the spreadsheet work on you take margins right down to the
Wow,
per
without
bullet
any
level. And
manufacturing experience. This is
well, with
amazing.
well, I had mechanical experience quite a
Ah,
bit and a lot of shooting
because of the farm.
experience. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we leveraged
Still,
that. So we learned as we went, and then we started. We found a place. The biggest effort was finding a location where we could do that. That took a while. So that was in 2015, November 2015 is when we started, and
but
I
Mark,
was
then you have
Melissa
a
was
lot of things. Then you have the place that you were doing the competitive shooting, and then you need another place to produce
yes,
the
yeah.
oh,
You built
wow,
on it
wow.
sequentially, step by step. Yeah, and then Melissa started it
Ultimate
to full
stream of
time.
income. Tell us a little bit more about that, because
Yep.
now you
Well,
you are creating the community that okay, maybe somebody had to pay a fee to compete, and then you have another stream of income, which is actually the ammunition that you're providing, right?
yeah. Well, our in that space, Lone Star Munitions was the company name. The income, the revenue from Lone Star was ammo sales, but it was both wholesale and retail. So we had individual customers shooting. Some would be competitive shooters. Some would do it for self-defense. It was common for a shooter to be taking a concealed carry course, and they needed a gun and ammo for that. We would walk them through that. So we had a lot of individual clients, and then we grew into the wholesale selling to other retails. That became most of our business as well. A lot of relationships with gun ranges. So there's a natural relationship there. A gun range has the brass right on their floor. So you could take that and refurbish it and reload it. And we did a lot of that, and then sell the ammo back to the gun range.
Oh
That
wow,
that happened a
wow.
lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And then tell us about scaling up, because one thing is
Yep.
The retail space, and the mechanics run different when it's wholesale. Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So the dynamic changed completely, and you guys have been through that journey. So what message do you have for those ones? So ideally everybody should start retail and after move to wholesale. Curious enough, my brother has a company that they import furniture from Indonesia to Europe. Okay. And they started retail, and the retail was kind of okay, but after they moved to wholesale, and at the moment they only do wholesale. That was your case, so you managed to keep both, and why this transition happens from retail to wholesale?
Yeah, we did keep both. The volume was shifting naturally to wholesale just because of the demand. The retailers that were already established, they just had large orders that they would place, large numbers, and that would grow faster than you could pursue individual clients. It was just a natural growth path there, but we kept both. We didn't sacrifice either one. And when scaling up in that space, and I think this will be true for any manufacturing space, if you're that wholesaler, that's different. You're buying the product and then reselling it. But when you're producing the product, that is a capital plan. It comes down to the technology that you need. And we basically set a target. We wanted to produce end result in our manufacturing space 50,000 rounds per day. And we set that as our goal, and now we built everything around that. Our technology, I would do the shopping, and Melissa and I made a very good team. She handled sales, and she was a master at that, building customer and client relations. I handled all the technical business and production,
the production
side. So,
which had to go proportional. It had to go proportional.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So like you said
Sounds
before,
easy, but it's not.
No, there's no
well
thing. Like you say, yeah. You can't blame somebody else. It's you. So we divided up the labor. Melissa took that half of the business, sales, and client relations. I took the production half, and that worked very well. That was we were a great team. It worked well.
And any message for upcoming American new manufacturers?
Well, the big thing now is
to stay competitive. To stay competitive.
Yeah.
Now we have AI. We have clearly in United States we have a competitor like China, which is public knowledge that they manufacture a lot of products that are consumed in the United States. So, what's your message for the American manufacturers, and what is your idea how we can bring back production and manufacturing to America?
Yeah. Well, personally, I love what Trump has done in terms of a different idea around trade. He's the politics of trade will never be the same, thanks to him. That the old political stances have been broken. He took a brand new approach, which is we need to mind the home base. We need a deal that's good for everyone. And we don't have to give up jobs. We don't have to give things away. You can have a deal that's two-sided, and that's I'm very appreciative of that. China's a great example. They're a bunch of thieves. They steal everything in sight. They take everything. They have no property rights in their country. In fact, they have no rights whatsoever, no civil rights, no property rights. They steal everything they get their hands on. So we need to think carefully about trading with a partner like that because they're not honest. And so that's a matter of national policy, public policy, but it filters right down to the worker. It filters right down to the citizen. So we need that focus at the national level. Will there be reform on your partner side? Because you cannot compete with slave labor. They absolutely have slave labor in that nation, and it's hard to compete with that here. Well, you need policies that address that, and we're getting more of that, and that's a very good thing. But the main message to a manufacturer in the United States is very simple. You got to be willing to change. You have to be willing to lay it all on the table and say, okay, how do we get our production up? Here's the thing, Harry. Here's what we have
maybe
to
embrace AI or artificial intelligence. Probably before
do it in an intelligent way.
It was not possible because clearly the cost of it there are lower than in United States. But however, embracing artificial intelligence and new
Other
technology,
ways.
things
Yes.
can be produced here in United States, right? And be
Absolutely.
competitive.
There will be changes on both sides. So we
Yeah.
need certain changes on the Chinese side. They're doing things that are not sustainable. Well, we're going to have to change over here too to get our costs
Absolutely.
down. So there's no question about it. Here's the basic framework, Harry. There's only one way to increase wealth, to create wealth, and that is gains in productivity. When you have gains in productivity, wealth increases, and there's no other way to do it. That's the only way. And there are only two ways to get that. Gains in productivity come by taking current goods and services and finding a better way to produce those, or creating new goods and services that aren't yet in place. Now, the good news, once you get to those two things, it's infinite, the number of ways to do that. The only limit is the human mind. There are an infinite number of ways to either produce better what's already being produced or to create new goods and services. It's unlimited, but you have to accept that single gateway and two gatekeepers, accept that as a fact. Now you can work from there into how you do those two things and how you get gains in productivity. There is no limit to that. It's unlimited. So now that's where you start embracing artificial intelligence. It's usually technology. Some form of technology is typically the answer in terms of doing one of those two things, either new goods and services or better production of what's already out there.
So basically, we cannot say, oh, we cannot manufacture anymore in the United States because, China is more cheaper, they do better, so we don't do anything here.
That's a cop-out.
We have to embrace it and to involve in what is necessary in order to be competitive.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, the other topic that I want to speak with you, Mark, is how about the consumer? And this is something that is that the consumer, okay, they are not such in love anymore with the made in USA product. I remember in the 80s, I was born in Cuba, I'm raised in Cuba, Havana, and I remember that in my house, when I was a kid, every toy, everything that was there around, everything that was around everywhere, you take it and it was said made in USA, made in USA. Everything was made in US. I remember vividly when I was a kid. Okay. And somehow, like for example, what you were producing. And I know that the people that were buying your product, they were buying from an American producer. They know that this ammunition is made in USA and has a meaning to buy that product from you guys, which it has that factory in Texas and all the culture around that, and they know that you care about that product. That's why you made it for love, and for sure they won't know the cheapest bullet in the market. This I already know, but so why in what you the only way that you succeed in what you did is because the people buying the product, they were proud that they were American made. Whether now you're going to buy a toy or people go out and buy toys for Christmas, buy this, buy that, and nobody cares if it's made in America. No, everybody's looking what is cheapest, which is fair, right? There is the other day I was buying fruit in the farmers market. I was with my dad, and my dad said, "Arriba, this avocado, whatever, it's a little bit more. It's expensive." I said, "I'm telling him, of course, it's a little bit expensive. It's made in United States. The worker in US, you have to pay the fair price, and the farmer need to get fair salary, and we need to be fair with everybody. That's why it's expensive, but it's made in America." My dad was like, "Well," so tell us a little bit more about the consumer. What we need to do for the consumer? We have the last say in all these manufacturing. Do we need to re-educate back the American public? Because in the 50s, in the 60s, they were happily buying everything from US, cars, fridge, ACs. So what happened?
Well, the first and foremost thing that a consumer is concerned with and married to is value. That's what they're looking for. value meaning a good quality product at a reasonable and often the lowest price. That's what they want. And we did that with our bullets, with our cartridges. Yes, we did sell the Made in America, and that is popular. But if it's a good quality product and you're somewhere reasonable in the
your
price
price is
range,
affordable.
oh yeah, you have to know where the competitors are. There's a great example on that, Harry, and that's the auto industry. So when you come into the 70s, the American auto industry was built on, had baked in the notion of obsolescence. So within the manufacturing of the product, they would build products. They knew kind of what schedule they were going to break down at, the mileage and years, et cetera. Well, Japan looked at that, said, "Oh, we know what to do with that." They came out with very high quality automobiles, and they just decimated Detroit through open competition. They put out a vehicle that will drive 300,000 miles for 20 years and still be in prime condition. Detroit was nowhere near that in the 1970s. So, and the consumer switched. The American consumer switched their preference to Asian-made automobiles, and that still carries true today. So the fact is, the consumer is in charge. They are looking for value. So if you're a producer and you want to get the loyalty of that consumer, you have to go for value. American made is a trait, it's a quality that matters. But underneath that, if the value is not there, meaning quality and price, you're going to lose. And that's just a hard fact.
Yeah. Uh, which is illustrate that in order to recover the production and manufacturing in America, we need to, as manufacturers, they have to have a deep look about what is the quality in a product
Yep.
and value, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
That's
price.
right.
And
Yes.
price. I think like
Price is a part of it. You can't ignore that.
like for example, Mac, in Texas, okay. So I hear they've been there, but somebody told me that there are a lot of trucks there that people
Yes.
right now have an open car, yeah, and the trucks. Well, that market hasn't been penetrated that much for the Asians. I think that most of the trucks they are American made, like Chevrolet, Ford, this and that.
Yeah.
There is
there's
a Toyota truck that is also good, but is I don't see all the penetration in the trucks. More in the standard vehicles. Maybe it could be for the U.S. identity that people, they're gonna have a truck, or trucker, how they call it in U.S. It has to be American made.
Yeah.
Because that market
Toyota
I don't
isn't
see. Tell us, because you're there, so you can tell us.
Yeah. Toyota isn't, and I did work for Toyota for 8 years. That was a part of my finance career. Yeah, I was an employee. But Toyota is an exception to that. They have very good penetration, very good volume on their Tundras and Tacomas. But you know what they did? They moved their plants here. They have a plant in San Antonio. They make it right here in the state. So they can claim it is American made. It's made right up the road.
Oh, wow.
So that was very intelligent, a very smart move.
So why the market hasn't been penetrated that much for Asian, like the truck versus the standard vehicle?
Well, in most cases, it's the quality of the vehicle is just not there. You look at Honda, you look at Nissan. It's not an attractive commodity.
Whether the trucks are all good, right?
Well, you have to get it on design as well. The design of the make has to be good. The Tundra is. They've done well in that market. But the others are no, they're not very strong. But there are plenty of American products that have struggled as well. Dodge is a good example. Dodge Chrysler has not done so well. The Chevy and the Ford are still strong, but the Tundra is way up there. It does great. But it still comes down to meeting consumer preference in a value-driven proposition. It still comes down to that. And Toyota stands as an amazing company to be able to go into so many foreign markets and design a product that market likes, and then deliver it in a quality fashion. They are a case study in how to succeed.
Yeah. So a lot of lessons to needs to be learned. So Mark, tell us then about your book.
Yes.
So
Thank you, sir.
show us your
Yeah.
book.
A Working
Uh,
Man's Guide. That this encompasses most of the principles that we've talked about here today. And the best place to find it is the website. Just take the apostrophe out, aworkingmansguide.com. Go there and check it out. And basically, chapter 1 is a set of principles that are non-negotiable. This is a roadmap to strength for the working class. That's why I wrote it. Chapter 1 lays out key principles you have to understand, and then it applies those principles to all the major areas that a working class family will face, top to bottom. So I hope everyone will enjoy it.
and I love the title, A Working Man, because we live in a society that everybody, we started, people started to think that, oh, you know what, I'm going to become a millionaire, and I'm not gonna work hard. Yes, and
Yeah.
the other day somebody asked me a question, told me, Harry, is it easy to make money? I said, well, depends on the point of my life that you ask me. If you ask me now if it's easy to make money, yeah, I make a phone call, I give an advice to a company, and I make good money very easy. However, in order for me to reach there and give this
Yes.
advice, I had to
There you
work
go.
hard a
Yeah.
lot when I was starting my business.
Absolutely.
So do you need? So that I want to ask you this question, Mark. Do you really do you have to work hard to make money, or how this is work?
Well, it working hard just needs to be a part of life. It's a part of who you are. We're made to work.
The
I
title
will
of your
work
book.
to I will work to my last breath. Retirement is also a myth. You do get to set the list. You change the list of the things you work on, and that's nice. But I work as hard now as I ever have at any point in my life,
Oh, tell
and
me
it will
about it.
be
The
that way.
writing books is very draining. I wrote one. Oh
Yes.
my God. I have wrote several. Oh my
Yeah.
God. There is
Yeah.
a very draining
Yeah. And
and
speaking in front of a
interesting.
crowd, same thing. You got to be
Oh
prepared. You
God.
got to work hard. Yeah. Yeah. Hard work is a part of life. If you're not working, you're dead.
So tell us about this, about your journey as public speaker and an author. So it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
I do talks and conferences all over the world, and it's amazing. You feel like you're a rock star, right? You arrive there, and the people are waiting for you, and then you go there. They pick you up, they drive you to a hotel. They hurry, don't worry. In Singapore, you won't believe they take even our own suitcase. Our suitcase, we don't even touch the suitcase.
Really
No, when we go to
nice.
Singapore, it's amazing. They make sure
Huh.
that you feel great when you go there. All you have to do is just show up and talk, and that's it. No,
Nice.
and then they drive you back. It's amazing experience. So
Huh.
tell us about that part of your life where again you need to embrace fear. I train people how to. One of the things that I do is I train people how to overcome the fear of public
Mm,
speaking, and I train over a
mm.
million people, reach over a million people online, and over 10,000 on stage. And the biggest fear of a human being can have is speaking on a stage. So how you overcome that fear?
Well, to me, it's about passion. To me, it's I'm married and embedded with foundational ideas, and I have a passion for the working class. So you focus on that. You focus on the message. When you're going to speak, you're going to get nervous. That's just a normal, natural part of it. Use that as fuel. That becomes fuel to make you ready. So that nervousness needs to turn into a commitment to I need to know my message, know the facts, and then connect with the audience. And a lot of speakers do a stage thing where, the lighting is such that you can't see the audience and they can
Tell me
see
about
you.
it.
I don't do that. I need eye contact with the audience because you get that connection, you get that feedback. It's about the audience in
100%.
the end. You
Absolutely.
want them to benefit from what you say. So you need to be right there with them. I get down close, I get down right with the audience, and I speak directly to them. And so if you're prepared with the facts, you have a foundational, fundamental message, you're ready with it, and you connect with your audience. It goes well every time.
And it's never about you. It's about them.
No.
It's
Yes, it's all about
it's,
them.
it's
They are the consumer in that moment. They're the customer.
100%. They
You're
have the
working
say.
for, yes, they determine whether it's valuable or not.
Tell me
You do
about
the
no,
prep, you
on what
do the
you gonna
work.
speak, and what you
They have
gonna
the
speak.
final say.
I remember
Yes.
once in Dubai that I had my PowerPoint presentation and I was about to deliver the workshop, and then I start to speak, and I usually go to this asking question to the audience, right? And I realized very quickly that what they want to learn and hear about have nothing to do with what I prepare. So I changed the whole speech in there, and then the promoter came and told me, Harry, that they love it. I can see that they love the speech, but how come you didn't use the PowerPoint? And I told her, look, the thing is that what I prepared is not what they want to hear. They couldn't care.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what's the point of me? It's not about me. It's about them. I'm
Yeah.
talking about things when these large stages, when it's over 2,000 people, this was marked the first time that I jumped into a bigger stage because I'm used to small conference, 150 people, 500 people, you can see everybody. And one
Yeah.
day they called me to have to speak. It was about my book in the National Chief Congress. It was like over 2,000 people there. And then I told all my friends, I told them, look, I'm going to speak there, go. Because I'm thinking, I'm going to see all my friends, look at the eyes, it's going to be amazing. Then I jump in, and I cannot see anybody. It's so black. I got all the lights on top of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the lights on top of me. It was two huge screens with my face, and the MC is about to pass me the microphone, and I'm shaking. I'm shaking
Yeah.
because and I'm trying to smile, and my
Yeah.
face start to get like sad because it was a big, exactly as you said, it was a big shift for me. I didn't
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
I remember it was only the red dot in the back, and I realized that red dot is the camera. So if I want to connect with that audience, I need to speak with that red dot in the back, which is actually way far. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I manage, but when you used to connect with people, to look into the eye and to walk on the stage, and you used to that connection, and then
Yeah.
you jump in this big stage, and all of a sudden I was not expecting that. Oh, this is probably the speech that more fear I've faced in my life,
Yes.
and it was the biggest one. A lot of people, yeah.
Yep.
So, luckily, it's skill. The more you practice, the better you become, right?
Yes. Yes. That's
So
right.
it's all about practice and going there and change your message. Mike, thank you so much for the broadcast. I think you're brilliant. You're amazing. And you're an
Well,
inspiration for keep talking with US manufacturing. We want to bring more jobs to the United States. We want
yes, sir.
the
Yes,
US
sir.
to grow and to come back to manufacturing. And you've been there, you've done it.
Yes.
So you know it yet. You have to inspire the new generations. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
how
Will
someone
do.
with experience like you inspire the new generation, say, okay, guys, you can bring on your AI or the generation said you want, but listen, if the number doesn't work, if you don't produce good stuff,
Yep.
it's not gonna work. So thank you so
Yep.
much. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneurs live mark break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.